Read Alouds. Today we are going over the Read Aloud schedule for the 2026-2027 school year. This has been a labor of love putting this list together for last year, which was our first year of homeschooling. The Read Aloud list that we did was one of my kids' favorite things from our whole year. So we are hoping to continue with that streak. When I am putting together a list for our Read Alouds, I'm looking for classic books. I'm looking for fun books. I'm looking for books that my kids can relate to, but I'm also looking for multicultural, diverse perspectives. I like to bring in books from around the world. And if you saw my plans for our upcoming year for our history geography project, we are actually doing a family history museum project. So we are going to be studying where our family came from in the past and countries that they came from. So a lot of these books you are going to see are going to be incorporated into that program. We have a really, really good list. I'm really looking forward to diving into this stack. It is quite the stack of books. So we do six-week terms. And my goal is to do 3 per term. Some of these are very, very short. So I have a couple extras that I'm going to bring in if we can. So for the most part, they are all physical copies. I do appreciate reading a book, like a physical book. But I do have a couple that I was not able to get, or they were just too expensive, or I could just get it online. So I do have a couple that are on digital copies. So I will put the picture up here or here, one of the places, for you to see. Another thing that we bring in is I'm going to have my kids choose a new Mr. Pen notebook. So we brought in this last year. It is a small notebook, blank notebook that is just, I don't know, maybe 3.5 by 5. And I put a picture of the book up here, and then they will draw their favorite scene or their least favorite scene, and we will just write a sentence down on the bottom, what they liked or didn't like about the book. And this actually really helped them remember the books that we had read, and it's just like a nice little memory book of the books we read. I'm going to go over these in no particular order. So I do plan to bring some of them in at specific times of the year. For example, books that have to do with a particular country that we're learning about. I'm going to read that book from that country. That's the plan. But some of these are just fun reads for whenever. These are going to be in no particular order. All right, so let's go ahead and get into, oh gosh, this stack of books. All right, so first up we have Mr. Popper's Penguins. This is the story of a house painter, and he receives a penguin in the mail, and he keeps acquiring more and more penguins. And this is the story of him keeping them in their house, making them into some sort of entertainment. We are doing a bird study this year. This isn't necessarily the birds that we are studying, but I wanted to incorporate at least one book that had a bird theme. So this is going to be fitting that bill, I hope. Okay, next up we have The Great Cake Mystery. This is going to be my kid's first mystery book. This is a story of an African girl who her name is Precious, and a piece of cake goes missing from her classroom, and she sets out to find the thief. We are incorporating Africa into our geography study. We're going to be learning more about Western Africa. This is from Botswana. So this is just going to be a different perspective on a different African country. So this is The Great Cake Mystery. All right, if you saw my video going over our favorite books from last school year, my kids really, really loved the Roald Dahl books. So we are going to be bringing in Matilda this year. They really loved James the Giant Peach and the BFG last year. So we are going to bring in Matilda. They have seen the musical and they really, really loved it. So this will be a fun one to kind of compare along the way. All right, another geography one. We have the water horse. We are going to be doing a segment, on Scotland. So this is the story of siblings who find an egg, like a weird looking egg on the seashore, and they bring it home and put it in their bathtub, and it hatches. And this creature, they want to keep this creature, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. So this is the tale of that adventure. All right, next up we have a classic. We have Mary Poppins. Now, this is kind of cool. So when I started homeschooling, my mom shipped me like 4 boxes of classical books that she grew up with. And when I was looking at them, I found Mary Poppins, and it actually has in here. This is this is my aunt. So this was a gift from my great grandmother to my aunt in 1952. And it has where she lived at the time, and then it has her handwriting. So the fact that we're doing a family study, I think it's kind of cool to bring that in to kind of to show some history here with the family. And then yeah, so we are going to be reading Mary Poppins, and this is set in England, so it'll kind of be incorporated into our UK studies. All right, another geography one. We have the robber Hotzenplotz. This is going to be during our Germany section. This is a classic in this is a German classic, and this is about, let's see if I can pronounce these names. Kasperl and Seppel, his best friend Seppel. So his grandmother got her coffee mill stolen by the robber Hotzenplotz. Yes, the robber Hotzenplotz, and this is the quest of the two best friends trying to get back her coffee mill that was stolen. And they encounter an evil wizard, and they have to be smart and outsmart the wizard and the robber to get back her coffee mill. Like I said, this is translated from German. This should be an interesting read. All right, so let me go ahead and do some of the digital books. We are going to be bringing in the best Christmas pageant ever. We're going to be bringing this in around Christmas time. This is the story of siblings, the worst kids in the world, and they take over a Christmas play. And this is all about their misadventure of the Christmas play. I am so sorry. It is so windy. My phone is blowing. So if I'm shaking, it's just the wind. Everything is okay. Um, Okay, yeah. So this is the story of these siblings as they take over this Christmas play. I've heard really, really great things about it, so I'm excited to bring this in for Christmas. Okay, next up we have the Cricket of Times Square. This is actually one I wanted to bring in while we were in Ohio, but it did not come in time in the library. This is the story of a cricket and a little boy, and I believe he befriends a cat and a mouse. And I'm looking forward to reading that. All right, last up for our digital books is The Curious Lobster. Now, this is a book I am bringing in because my family comes from New England. I grew up going to the New England coast every summer. I have many memories of lobsters, eating lobster, all of the things growing up. So, this is how I am incorporating that. And this is the unlikely friendship of Mr. Bear, Mr. Badger, and Mr. Lobster and their adventures. So, I'm looking forward to bringing that one in as well. Back to the physical copies, we have Meet Kirsten. This is actually going to be, this is actually my book that I grew up with, that I read. This is probably the book that made me fall in love with historical fiction. I have her whole set, and I am bringing this in to kind of introduce the kids to immigrant families. That she comes from Sweden. We don't have any direct ties to Sweden, but I do appreciate the story, and I think it'll give the kids a perspective on that immigration journey that I believe she went through that in the 1854. So this is her story and of her family immigrating to the United States. So I wanted to bring this in to give the kids that perspective. I am looking forward to this, and I really hope that they love these books as much as I did. All right. Next up, we have The Family Under the Bridge. This is going to be another one that I bring in at Christmas time. We are doing France in our geography study, and this is a book I wanted to bring in because I heard it has really great narrative about Paris. This is the story of an old man, and he adopts three children there that live under the bridge. Uh, yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one and giving some perspective on Paris when we get to France. Next up, also in the France genre, we have Nicolas, and Nicolas is a little boy, and he gets in lots of trouble with his friends. It is written from the perspective of Nicolas, who is 7. This is a French classic. It's been translated into English, so I think that it is going to be a really, really fun read. Next up, we have Morning Girl. Morning Girl is the story of Morning Girl and Starboy, their brother and sister, and they are Taino, living in the Bahamas in 1492, and it is set just before the arrival of Columbus reaches the Caribbean. So this is going to be brought in to give some perspective of for our geography study. My husband has Kalinago, who are Southern Caribbean native people in his lineage. So this is going to be brought in to kind of give some of that perspective. This should be a really interesting read, I think. All right, we have another classic. We have Skunk and Badger. We have the story of Badger who likes to be alone until Skunk winds up on his doorstep and becomes his new roommate. This is the story of their adventures and unlikely friendship. Next, we have two stories by the same author. We have this is Anna Hibiscus by Atanuke. I watched an interview about why she wrote this book. A lot of children were asking her since she was from Africa, did she grow up in a mud hut with no running water and things like that? And she wanted to show that there are children in Africa that grow up in cities, that grow up with cell phones and regular, like what we consider regular parts of daily life. So she wrote Anna Hibiscus and to talk about her life in Africa. All right, on the flip side of Anna Hibiscus, we have Two Small Tola. This is another one by Atanuke, and this is giving a different perspective of Tola, who is small but mighty. She lives with her grandmother and her brother. She is in a different class than Anna Hibiscus, and so this just gives her daily life from another perspective and another experience in Lagos in Nigeria. So we have oopsie, two books here to bring in for our Africa portion of our geography study. All right, next up we have The Birch Bark House. This is going to be a book that I bring in November for Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving time. We have Morning Girl that is going to give the Caribbean experience, and I'm hoping that the Birch Bark House can give a different perspective on United States, Native American perspective. The Birch Bark House is the story of her daily life in I think it was 1847. So I think this will be another interesting read. We have a very beat up copy of Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle. This is the story of an eccentric nanny, and she is called on by parents that are frustrated by unruly children and her methods of getting them to behave. This should be a fun read, and if it stays together, this is going to be one of our fun reads for the year. So last up, we have The Chocolate Touch. Now, The Chocolate Touch is the story of a little boy who loves chocolate, and he finds a coin that gives him a magical gift that everything he touches turns to chocolate. This is going to be one of our fun reads. I think the kids are going to really, really enjoy reading this book. And that actually completes our read aloud journey. So that's it. That's all the books that we are reading for next year. I'm really looking forward to getting into them. I think it's a pretty good mix of some classics, some fun books, some books from other countries that I think are going to bring a really great perspective for our geography study. So if you're interested in seeing our reviews of how we're enjoying or not enjoying these books, please remember to subscribe to my channel. I plan on doing reviews of the books that we have read in the term. Last year I did it at the end of each semester, but I think it's just going to be easier to do it at the end of every term this year. So please remember to subscribe if you are interested in that. All right, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions on any of the books that I have listed, everything will be in the description box down below, and go ahead and leave me a comment or a question. What are you guys reading next year? Any that you're particularly looking forward to? Go ahead and share down below. I'm always open to hearing more about read aloud books and potential picks for future years. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.